What is C programming language? Part 2. C is a powerful programming language which is strongly associated with the Unix operating system. C is a powerful programming language which is strongly associated with the Unix operating system. C was developed to make Unix operating system. Even most of the Unix operating systems is coded in C. There are many types and versions of Unix operating systems that are coded in C language. Initially, C programming was limited to the Unix operating system. C was developed to make Unix operating system, but as it started spreading around the world, it became commercial and many compilers were released for class platform systems. Now C is very popular to make other programming languages. It means C programming language was used to develop other programming languages. There are many C language concepts were used in Java, Python and many other programming languages. Today C is very commercial platform. Today C runs under a variety of operating systems. Nowadays, C runs under a variety of operating systems like Windows and Windows 7, Windows 10, Unix and Mac and etc. Many operating systems and hardware platforms. C was used to develop many operating systems, and C language will run on any hardware platforms, x86, x64 or any hardware architecture. C will run on Windows, Unix, Macintosh or many operating systems. C programming language will run on any operating system like Windows, Mac, Solaris, Unix, like that. As it started evolving, many different versions of the language were released. There are many versions of C language were released. At times, it became difficult for the developers to keep up with the latest version as the systems were running under the older versions. At the time, it became difficult for the developers to keep up with the latest version. C has many versions, so the systems are already running under the older versions. To assure that C language will remain standard, to include latest or advanced versions of C language, the American National Standard Institute defined a commercial standard for C language. American National Standard Institute, short ANSI, defined a commercial standard for C language in 1989 because this standard is used for including the latest versions of C language in a particular manner. Later, it was approved by the International Standards Organization. In 1990, C programming language is also called as ANSI. C programming language is also called as ANSI. It means American National Standards Organization. ANSI. It is the first allocate the standards to programming languages. It gives the standard to C language. So C also called ANSI. History of C language. The first programming language was ALGOL or ALGOL. It was developed in 1960. And next, BCPL, Basic Combined Programming Language, was developed in 1967. Next, B language was developed in 1970. Next, C language developed in 1972. Next, K and R C language developed in 1978, and ANSI C developed in 1989. Now ANSI or ISO C developed in 1990. These languages such as C++, Java are developed from C language. C++, Java are advanced versions or latest version comparing to C language were developed from C concepts or from C language. These languages are widely used in various technologies. C++, Java languages are widely used in various technologies. It means they are used in web applications, gamings, animations like that. Thus, C forms a base for many other languages that are currently in use. Today, there are many programming languages like C++, Java, Python, and many more. Those languages are based on the C language because these languages are derived the code from C language, or C++, Java, Python, and many today's programming languages were developed on the concepts of C programming language. Where is C used? Key applications. First, C language is widely used in embedded systems. C language is widely used in embedded systems. Embedded system is a computer system which includes computer processor, computer memory, computer chips. It dedicated a function as the mechanical and electrical system to connecting and sharing data via internet. For example, to develop network adapters and network technologies and connecting with the server, these are based on C programming language. Second, it is used for developing system applications. C used for developing system applications like that: documentation, MS Office, pictures, photographs, videos, using camera on our system like that, and using desktop apps like that, web applications, camera apps, pictures, photos, graphics, MS Office like that. These apps or applications were developed through C language. Third, it is widely used for developing desktop applications. C is widely famous for developing desktop applications. For example, games, apps, notepads, wordpads, textpads, MS Office, drives, disks, whatever we can use on our computer desktop, they are already developed through C programming language. Fourth, most of the applications by Adobe are developed using C programming language. Adobe applications are Adobe PageMaker, Adobe Photoshop, and many like that. Adobe company developed these applications through C programming language. Fifth point, it is used for developing browsers and their extensions like Google Chromium is built using C programming language. It is used for developing browsers like Google Chrome browser is developed through C language and its extensions like versions, Google Chrome versions. Google Chrome browser has many versions till today. Those are developed through C programming. Sixth, it is used to develop databases like MySQL is the most popular database software which is built using C. MySQL, the Oracle application MySQL database is built using C programming language. This is used in railway booking, tickets, and many hospitals and banks accounts databases. Those databases were developing through C applications or C programming language. Seventh, it is used in developing an operating system. Operating systems such as Apple's OS X operating system. C language is used in developing an operating system. First, C language was invented because of developing Unix operating system. Nowadays, C programming code is used to develop operating systems like Apple's company's OS X operating system and many more. Microsoft Windows and Symbian are developed using C language. Microsoft's Windows operating systems and Symbian operating system are developed using C language or C programming language was used to develop Microsoft's Windows operating system and Symbian operating system. It is used for developing desktop as well as mobile phones operating system. C language was used for developing desktop and mobile phones operating system. Our mobile phone operating system like Android and many more were developed through C programming language. 8. It is used for compiler production. C language is used to develop compilers. Compiler means it converts the high level language what we can write on computer screen, that is code, that is converted into low level language or machine language or binary level language, and it through then computer understands. Compiler means it converts whatever we can write on the computer screen as a code, it converts into machine level language. Machine level language means system understandable language. So then computers gives output easily. That is the compiler function. 9th, it is usually widely used in IoT applications. IoT means Internet of Things. Internet of Things means it is a network which is connected with peripherals or software applications which are used to connect one computer to another computers in internet. Software are physical things, that is called Internet of Things. IoT means Internet of Things which are used for connect to one computer from another computers, or physical things are softwares which are used to communicate with one system to another systems in internet is called Internet of Things. C language is also developed for developing computer peripherals and communication things like radars and software technologies, server side applications to communicate with one system to another system. So C is a most simple and easy learning language and it is famous in the world. That's it.